Today we take a look at the top 10 jobs in the US that can greatly increase your salary without the need of an expensive 4-year college. The only thing these jobs require is a high school diploma or equivalent, like a GED or a TASC, and in some cases you also need an associate's degree, which is typically just a 2-year program. Now, since we're looking at top earning jobs, it's helpful to establish what is a high salary. And no, we're not talking about YouTube Lambo money over here. But if you watch your spending and stay away from the evil tax man in some states, you can definitely afford a nice Beamer or Benz. So those will have to do for now. Let me know in the comment section which of these jobs is most appealing to you. Now let's find out what the top earning jobs are and how much you will get paid. At number 10 on the list, we find the subway operator, making between $50,000 and $70,000 per year. According to the Bureau of Labor Statistics, you'll find the highest salaries for this job with local and state governments instead of the private sector, and these pay around $68,000 on average. The best states to work in as a subway operator are Maryland and California, where you can earn around $63,000 and $57,000. And the worst states to work in as a subway operator is Georgia. Here you'll only earn around $38,000. The best metropolitan areas to work in are New York, Newark, and Jersey City. Here you'll find the most jobs available per 1,000 jobs and earn around $77,000 on average. Number 9, the transportation inspector. The transportation inspector makes between $65,000 and $75,000 per year. You can become one with just a high school diploma or an equivalent. In some cases, having 1 or 2 certificates makes getting the job a lot easier, and these can be acquired at a trade school or vocational college, but most of the training will be done on the job. The best employer for the transportation inspector is not the state or local government, but the federal executive branch of the government, where the average salary is around $108,000. When it comes to the highest average salary per state, Maine, District of Columbia, and Alaska make up the top 3, with salaries averaging between $99,000 and $105,000 per year. But before you rush in to relocate to one of these 3 areas, it should be noted that these states employ only a very small group of transportation inspectors. A much better option is to relocate to Texas, Florida, New York, or California. In these states, the average salary varies between $72,000 and $83,000, which is much lower than the top 3, but you'll have a much better chance of landing a job. Another great option is Oklahoma. Now, even though there are less jobs than in the previous ones, there are still quite a few transportation inspector jobs in the state, and if you manage to land one, you're looking at an average salary of around $98,000. The number 8 spot on the list is held by the dental hygienist, which is one of the classic high-paying jobs worldwide that doesn't require a 4-year college. The average take-home pay for a dental hygienist lies between $70,000 and $75,000. This is the first job on the list for which you must have an associate's degree to qualify for employment. Now, most of these are 2-year programs. However, there are also 3- and 4-year programs out there, so make sure to select the right one that best fits your future employer. Obviously, the majority of dental hygienists works in a dental office, but a significant amount of them also work in an outpatient care center, and both of these pay around $77,000 per year. The highest paying state for dental hygienists is Alaska, where you can earn around $150,000 with quite a lot of job opportunities compared to the overall population. Before we continue, please like and subscribe to the channel for more finance and banking information. If you want a little bit more sun and heat, California is a nice runner-up with an average salary of $106,000 and plenty of job opportunities. If you want to earn even more, you can check out the metropolitan areas in California, such as San Francisco, San Jose, and Santa Maria, where the salaries can vary between $114,000 and $140,000 per year. Number 7. Powerhouse substation and relay technicians are involved in repairing the power grid and earn an average salary between $70,000 and $80,000 per year. Now, in order to apply for any of these jobs, you will need an associate's degree in electrical engineering. When we look at the states that pay the highest salaries for these technicians, we see that the top 3 consist of Hawaii, California, and Minnesota. 2 other states that might be more interesting for potential electrical technicians are Michigan and Alabama. Here the average salaries are $89,000 and $77,000, which is a lot lower, but again, you have many more job opportunities in these 2 states than in the previous 3. Number 6, the elevator installer. They average between $75,000 and $85,000 annually. And if you look at the top paying states, which are Washington and Massachusetts, we see they can average around $110,000 and $104,000 per year. I must note that this comes at a price, because even though you only need a high school diploma or equivalent, In most cases, you will need to complete a 5-year apprenticeship. Now the good news is that these apprenticeships are usually paid. Number 5. A detective or criminal investigator makes between $70,000 and $90,000 on average. Now a lot of detectives and criminal investigators do have a bachelor's degree. However, it's still possible to become one with just a high school diploma. For this, you must become a police officer first and then work your way up to detective, which can be done with courses and online training while working as a police officer. This helps you avoid raking in huge student debt, usually associated with getting a bachelor's degree. The best states to work in when it comes to your salary are Alaska, Hawaii, and California. As you can see, you easily earn a 6-figure salary in those states. The states that you want to avoid when it comes to earning a high salary are South Carolina, Arkansas, North Carolina, and Kansas. As you can see here, you'll make about $20,000 to $30,000 less than the national average. The best metropolitan areas to work in are Washington, Arlington, Alexandria, and Los Angeles. Here you will earn around $122,000 per year on average. Number 4. The radiation therapist earns between $85,000 and $100,000 on average. And it's quite easy to push this salary to a 6-figure salary by moving, since these 7 states pay over $100,000 per year. They do have fewer jobs per 1,000 jobs, so it might be more difficult landing a radiation therapy job in those states. However, when you do, it tends to pay off quite well. The worst states when it comes to your salary are Kansas, Tennessee, and West Virginia. Now at $72,000 and $74,000, you're still making pretty decent money, so it's not as bad as some other jobs where the difference in state averages can be more than double your salary. Number 3. The nuclear power plant operator is the first job on the list that will guarantee a $100K salary. In my opinion, this is the best job to apply for, even though it's not the highest one on the list. The states with the highest average salaries for nuclear power plant operators are New York, North Carolina, Louisiana, and Illinois. Now, even though a high school diploma is all you need to become a nuclear power plant operator, there are some additional certificates, licenses, and even a physical exam that you need to pass. Since there are not that many nuclear power plants, the total number of jobs is somewhat limited, and this makes it highly advisable to get some additional training in the form of vocational training or an associate's degree before you apply for any jobs. Before you can start earning well over $100K a year, you'll have to pass an aptitude test, background checks, and drug testing. And on top of this, you are encouraged to complete the RO and SRO license, which requires 3 years of work experience at a plant. Now there is a life hack around all of this, and that's by joining the Navy. Since the Navy has multiple nuclear facilities and machines that operate on nuclear power, the main benefit from joining the Navy is that all of your training will be paid for, as well as tons of benefits and the salary while becoming a nuclear power plant operator. When you serve out your contract, there is a job waiting for you with a great salary, and you'll have one of the strongest CVs out there. Number 2. Commercial pilot. In this job, you'll make between $95,000 and $120,000 per year. Now, some people think that becoming a pilot takes a lot of time or requires at a minimum a bachelor's degree, but this is not the case. All you need is the ability to read, write, and speak English, and be at least 18 years of age. Completing your commercial pilot training takes about 2 years, which you can speed up by flying more frequently. Now, looking at the best states to be a commercial pilot in is a bit subjective, since the pilot does not need to live in a particular state, but the states that list the highest average salaries are New York, Connecticut, and Georgia. One thing to note though is that a major drawback to this job, in comparison to all the other jobs on the list, is that you'll have to heavily invest in your training. The average cost of becoming a commercial pilot ranges between $70,000 and $100,000. Now, some of you might ask, what's the difference between a commercial pilot and an airline pilot? Well, it's about $90,000 per year on average, since the average airline pilot in the state of Michigan earns about $238,000 per year. You also need about 3 times the flight time experience and a special license to fly for airlines, but you achieve both of these by becoming a commercial pilot first and then getting your required number of flights in. And finally, at number 1, we find the air traffic controller with a nice salary range between $110,000 and $135,000 per year. The air traffic controller is another classic, high-paying job without a college degree in most countries around the world. The best states to work in when it comes to salary are New Hampshire, Virginia, and Illinois. And as you can see, you will easily earn upwards of $130,000 in these states. The worst states to work in as an air traffic controller are Montana and West Virginia, where you'll earn around $77,000 and $80,000 per year, so you'll be taking about a $60,000 to $70,000 pay cut if you live in the wrong state. The one problem with this job is that due to the high guaranteed pay for a non-college degree position, the competition has greatly increased in the recent years, making it more difficult in some states to find work. Next to this, it might be one of the toughest jobs on this list, with the most studying required to get all of the certifications done and the highest on-the-job stress level, so make sure you are ready for this dedication or you'll be putting yourself through hell. Now, even though all of these jobs can be applied for with just a high school diploma or an associate's degree, you can greatly increase your starting salary by getting a college degree or multiple certificates, and this will help you land the job you want and allows for a faster career progress. If this is not ideal for you due to financial means, I would advise you to try and get your college degree during the job, because most employers will fully or at least partially pay for you to develop your skills or give you some time off to study, and this will boost your salary during your career. It will also make it much easier for you to get a new job if you get fired or if you move to a new state. These were the top 10 earning jobs without a college degree. Please like and subscribe to the channel for more finance and banking information.